Hey, everybody. Thanks so much for listening to the Dumb Dad Podcast. My name is Kevin, and I'm a dumb dad.
And my name is Evan, and I'm a dumb dad. And on today's episode, Kevin will reveal, well, let's just put it this way. Back to school. Day 2, strike 1.
Mm-hmm. And Evan, before we even get started, will struggle to get the kids to bed on time.
Oh, wow, that's par for the course.
Before we get started, though, guys, we want to remind you about our show at Dynasty Typewriter on Monday, August 25th at 7:30 p.m. There's a link to the tickets in our bio. This is a fundraiser show. Proceeds will go towards Donors Choose, which helps teachers get all the supplies they need in their classrooms across America. So please come on out and support. It is a new 1-hour sketch comedy variety show. So if you've seen our show in LA before, it will be different. And it will also include our friend and stand-up comic, Sarah Tiana.
Yeah,
so come on out and support the
Sarah
show.
Tiana. It's going to be a lot of fun. It is a school night, but look, that's the night they gave us. So we're all just going to suffer together.
We're all going to do the best. It's for the teachers.
Cheers, buddy. We're back in the new school groove. We're back. We're back. Day 2. Day 2 of school. I will say this. Our school system in Los Angeles did what I'm calling a soft open. First day of school was Thursday. Second day of school, Friday. Then you get a weekend, and then we're really going to school.
That's how I did it, though, as a kid. We would start on like a Wednesday.
If we did that, I don't remember that.
I always remember we started on a Wednesday, and then we'd have the 3-day weekend because it'd be Labor Day.
And we probably did this last year, and I don't even really remember that. What I'm saying is I've noticed it this year, and I am very much appreciating it because, your kids went to bed late all summer. Because you start to go,
did.
you know what? What am I doing? It's summer.
Yeah.
Go for it. I mean, they're not going to bed at like 1 o'clock in the morning. They're still in elementary school, but still.
12:45.
It was like, 9:45, 10 o'clock night, stuff like that. We're like, guys, whatever. We're not too stressed about it. It's summer.
Yeah.
But then, the idea like that, what do they say? The same thing about daylight savings. Like, well, it's just incrementally 15 minutes earlier. Do that about a week ahead of it. That's not really how life works. You can't do that. We thought about that, but then, that doesn't really happen.
Speaking of that, we did put our kids to bed the weekend or the days leading up to first day of school, which our first day of school was a Thursday. We did put them to bed at reasonable times. Letting them know we got to get back in the habit.
Yeah.
And they were like, okay. But first day of school that night, my son, news to him. I was like, all right, guys, it's time for bed. And he's like, what? And I was like, back in school, man. Remember we talked about this.
Yeah.
We're back in school. We're going to start going to bed at a reasonable time.
Yeah.
And just so we're clear, it's 8:15. It's not 6:45. Like 8:15 is pretty reasonable. But then I realized that
he's acting like you're pulling a carpet out from under him.
Oh yeah. He was so funny because he was like, what? Oh, and he was just rolling around on the floor basically. And I was like, well, go get ready, brush your teeth, and I'll read you a book. I mean, and he just, and just like huffed and puffed, and we just dealt with it. And he just got himself ready and brushed his teeth. And this was the first time, which was very funny. He walked in to the kitchen where I was talking to my wife, and he's just like, and I was like, toothbrush in his mouth.
Yeah.
Sonic the Hedgehog telling him he's doing a good job, which he's not doing. So Sonic, don't phone it in. Pay attention to what they're doing.
He's buzzing in his mouth. He's not really brushing.
You're doing great. Keep it up. And I was like, he's not moving. But I was like, what? What's the matter? And he's just like, this keeps falling off. And like the head of the toothbrush. And I was like, oh, it's just not clicked in. Go ahead. And he was like, it's like went back. He just went back to the bathroom. I was like, fine.
There goes my way of leading into this toothbrush isn't working, so I can't go to school.
This is going to buy me 45 more minutes. And my dad was going to take it to the garage and do one of his famous, I can fix this. And then he finishes, and I'm like, do you want me to lay down with you and read a book? And he's like, yeah, fine. And I like lay down.
Dictionary.
I lay down with him, and yeah. And I'm reading The Lord of the Rings to my kids.
Yeah.
And it was so funny because he's like, yeah, how will you read it? And he like lays down. I lay down. My daughter comes in. She's got like a book or something. I can't quite tell. It's either a book or a notebook in her hand.
Yeah.
And I was like, hey, I was going to read Lord of the Rings. Do you want to listen? She was like, yeah, sure. And like climbed into her bed. She did the same thing last time I read The Hobbit. She stopped me like 7 times to be like, sorry, what did you just say? And it wasn't until like the 5th time she goes, sorry, I'm reading another book. What'd you say? I was like, maybe don't do that. Maybe don't do that, Tony Stark. What are you doing?
You can't
read 2 books at once.
You can't do 2 books at once.
Because you know what that means? You're reading 0 books.
Yeah, exactly.
That's what's happening.
Yeah,
you're
looking at words in one
nothing.
and hearing a couple words from the other one.
Yeah.
Looking at the words is not reading.
I'm reading out loud to both of you. I'm barely hanging on.
I'm overthinking what I'm even doing the night before school starts.
But it was so clear what was going on with my son, which is first day of school.
Yeah.
Because I'm 10 sentences in, and I look, and he's just out cold. Just punched out, basically.
That's
just
hilarious.
Gone. And then same thing happened with my daughter. It's funny, it happened to both of them. My daughter, I finished reading, I pop up. She's like working on an assignment the teacher gave her. Then I'm like, this isn't due till Monday. She's like write a letter, I think, introducing herself. Family and stuff.
All about me kind of stuff.
Yeah. And I was like, this isn't due till Monday. And she's like, I just want to have it for tomorrow. I was like, but you don't need it till Monday. And
it's bedtime.
And it's bedtime. And she was like,
Where was this at 5 when you said you were bored?
I know. She was kind of working on Ish all day. But I was like, it's bedtime and it isn't due till Monday, so let's not do it. And she was like, you could tell she was getting upset. And I went, all right, I'll make you a deal. I had to take the dog for a walk. I'm going to walk around the block. When I come back, then we'll be done. Is that a deal? Does that seem fair? Whether you're done or not, we'll be done. She was like, okay. It's like, great. I went around our school, so it took like, I don't know, 20 minutes. Mm-hmm. I came back, lights off, she's passed out. I was like, yeah, both of you.
It's mostly just defiance.
Yeah.
But the inevitable, I'm too tired to defy you anymore, especially if you're not in that room.
I can't remember the last time before, unless she was really being like, all right, I'm being good. But if it's like, hey, you're on a book, I'm going to come in and shut it down.
Yeah.
I can't remember the last time it came in and she put herself down. Like,
exactly.
Like, you're destroyed.
Exactly. How were your kids like leading up to school? Like, were they nervous? Did you get some reactions out of them? Like the night before, did they start to show a lot of nerves leading up to going back to school?
Great question, Evan. Yeah, I think there was a little nerves from both of them, but they were, I'm not going to say unfounded, but like pretty unfounded of just like, specifically my daughter has been going to that school for now it's her 5th year. And my son, this is his 2nd year at the school. But they were both just kind of like, oh, I'm worried what the teachers mean. And you're like, they're not.
Yeah.
It's like, I don't know.
A mean person?
Yeah. I don't know if I'm supposed to coddle you here. They're not. They're not mean. I don't know. I know all the teachers. It's not a mean teacher. But for the most part, no. I think they were pretty excited. It's like all that new stuff. Mm-hmm. This is all your new stuff. And you get to use, all of it. One outfit. No layers, please. Still Southern California in August. But you get to wear all your new stuff and show it off. I think that got the excitement. So I think they weren't nervous. No, they went into the gates and everything fine. I think our daughter might have been a little nervous at first, but they both got over it. What about yours?
They both showed nerves leading up to. My son less so than normal. He's, I think the routine of being at the same thing, being at the school. Now he's in 5th grade, so it's there's a lot of things going on, like his last year of school at this school before he has to go to middle school. So he knows, he's aware of that. Hasn't had the same class with his like best bud in 2 years but got him this year. So now they're in the same class this year. So he's super pumped about that. So that made the feelings of going back to school much easier. They both showed signs, which is so funny that like kids, which is totally understandable that kids do stuff like this, but like he was like, I just know that 5th grade is a lot about like science, and I just feel like I don't know a lot about science. And I was like, right, you'll learn it in 5th grade. You're going to 5th grade to learn more about science, and my daughter was like, I don't know anything about multiplication. I feel like I don't know any of that. And I was like, well, first of all, you're going to the 2nd grade. I don't even think you learn multiplication until 3rd grade, but also anything you're not supposed to know anything. You're supposed to come to school prepared to learn, and they're going to teach you all this stuff. Yeah. That was kind of both their take. The night before my daughter started crying, she was starting to feel pretty nervous. I mean, she was the one that like kindergarten. I mean, every day. I mean, you remember our kids were in preschool together. Like, she was in tears, and same thing. Kindergarten, 1st year at the big school, like every day, drop-off line was crying. Just like, I think overcome with emotion of like, I'm by myself now. I have to do something by myself now. I'm totally afraid. I don't know anybody. There's like that social anxiety showed. so much in her, especially early,
Yeah.
and had a hard time shaking it. Like usually, like my son, a couple times, like the first week can be hard. Then you kind of settle in, you realize like, oh, okay, this isn't so bad. But like she had a really hard time like the first like month or so.
Yeah.
And so I was getting a little bit nervous for that, but we had a kind of chat at the end of the night, and it was like, remember, but we did this last year, and we're gonna meet friends, and we know friends in our class, and she was able to kind of, it kind of ended there. She got more comfortable as the end of the evening came.
Yeah.
And then a little bit of tears in the morning. But I was proud of both of them. They both still got dressed, got, ready in their clothes, and were eating breakfast and getting their packs. And it was like the conversation about being nervous was over. And we were on our way to school listening to Demon Hunters, soundtrack, which is just popping off lately. So that got them in a good mood. And they both marched right into the gate, and he helped her like a good big brother go find her spot, and it was like great. And then they both came home the first day saying, "I love my teacher. We had a great day." And so it was like, oh, okay, great, But I will say, like,
that's great.
Yeah, I mean, my wife shared this with me, and then so I put it in stories, and it was kind of like this little on Instagram where it was like a reminder to parents the first couple days of school that we are eager to learn about their new experience and their friends that are with them and how the day went and how it felt and what about this and it was like, it's so tempting. I just loved this reminder that it's so tempting to play the 20 questions game like in the car after school. Let me know, tell me about it, when they just need some time to like relax and not talk about it if they want that time. Yeah. And it was like, oh yeah, that's totally true, because basically what it was explaining is like, it takes a lot for them to go back to school, into a new classroom, to see a bunch of new faces and get back into that schedule. And they're so overwhelmed and potentially scared about it and all these things. And they just want to come home to their safe space and not do that for a while. Yeah. Which is fair, even if they like school. How I thought about this immediately was like, even as an adult, like if you start a new job tomorrow, like that's a lot. You're thinking about like, okay, I've got to get there on time. I got to make sure, okay, I'm going to pick out what I'm going to wear. I'm going to meet some new people and make sure I'm going to make sure I'm on, right? Meeting the people, get myself set up, and then kind of tackle the day.
But first couple of days, on edge the whole
on
day.
Edge the whole day. Your mind is like spinning and wandering and thinking, and like you're on top of stuff because there's no routine, there's no comfort.
You don't know how chill everyone is. Or how chill they aren't, so you're on eggshells a little bit. You want to show off your personality. You're paying attention to every little thing, how people behave, what some of the you got to start to study that stuff, so you know like when it's okay to go, when's the best time to maybe go grab a cup of coffee or whatever it is. Like you're on edge the whole day, and so when you come home from that day as an adult, you're gonna decompress for a little bit. You're gonna relax, right? Watch a show, not think about it for a while. Just I'm gonna go in my study.
I made it.
Talk to me.
Yeah, I made it. I made it through my first day of work. Seemed like it went well. Tomorrow, at least I know this about this place. Whatever. They're doing that at school, and they don't have that. They don't have the ability to contextualize that. Yeah. And then you're like, what was it like? Who are you sitting with? Is there anybody bullies in your class? And it's just like, I don't know, man. Can I just not? Yeah. And my kids didn't even behave like that. They weren't saying, don't ask me, whatever. But I read that and I thought, yeah, well, that's a good reminder. Like, let the information come to you. Yeah. Your mom and dad, the information will come to you.
Oh, always.
You know what I mean? And like, we kind of make these posts all the time, like teasing about like late at night. That's when they talk. But like, that's because then when they feel super safe and they're about to go to bed, they feel the most comfortable. Yeah. And that's when the questions come, or maybe the tea comes from the day or whatever. And so I thought it was a nice reminder to just let the information come to us, and we will get to hear more and more as the days unfold, And so and one of the things that was like, you don't need to ask them 20 questions. Just say, boy, I really missed you today. It was like the first thing I said to them when they got in the car. I was like, oh man, I missed you guys so much today. I hope you had a good day. And they were like, it was great. And then little pieces of information, but then also kind of just driving home, and they were talking to each other a little bit, and it was kind of nice. It was just nice, you know, to like, because I remember when I would go to school, I did have. I don't remember like necessarily having a specific feeling towards any of the anxiety going to school, or like what the fear was or anything like that. But I remember, especially in elementary school, like first day of school, when it was like time to like, pull the boots on and go down to the bus and go to school, I would like go into my mom and dad's room, or if one of them was home before they had to go to work, whatever, and like crying and like feeling scared about it. And that just sucked, It sucked to go to school feeling nervous and that feeling of
you're
like
going to school in boots.
See, just like, so just, that's kind of like one of those things when I read a post like that I think is important to share, or just good reminders of like ways to think about this kind of stuff from not only our perspective as the parent, but like maybe through their eyes a little bit. It's like, oh yeah, that's very, I'll consider that a little bit and have that in my mind, because I'm so excited for them to go back to school. I need them to go back to school. I need more of the time back. I need to get stuff done, and I hope they have a great time, and I can't wait to hear about it.
Yeah.
But let's not forget, it's really hard to do that for them.
Fortunately for them, unfortunately for us, they acclimate very quickly, because that first day they go to bed on time and you're like, nice.
Yeah.
And then never again. And you're like, oh, come on. I thought I'd have like 2 weeks.
Yeah.
You get maybe 3 days. And then they're back to staying up late. And you're like, how did you acclimate so quickly?
But hey, big switch from summer into school must bring dumb dad moments, I'm sure. So
sure. Before we get into that,
okay.
So we had our school orientation, and then I'll go into the dumb dad moments, because this was so wild and funny. So for long-time listeners, new-time listeners, welcome. I've been on the PTA since my daughter started, so 5 years now, starting my 5th year. And I was the fundraising chair, then I was a president for 2 of them, 2 years, and then I was whatever last year, and now I'm fundraising chair this year or something like that.
He's not really sure what it is.
I know I'm doing the same job. We're just moving around the roles
that's
to be technical.
That's what everybody does. It's like the people that are super involved, it's just like, okay, well.
Except the person who's...
I'll do this year, and you do this year.
Well, the thing that's only the difference, I'm in charge of like the paperwork, and I'm just not the president. So when I was president and doing the paperwork, which sucked. And now I'm...
Yeah, you got to delegate, my guy.
Well, it was just nobody wanted to do it, and nobody wanted to learn to do it. And nobody wanted to learn to do it. And I was like, all right, I'll do both. And that was super stressful. And then last year when I wasn't president, and this year I'm not president again, it was nice because I was like, oh great, you're in charge of this stuff, you go for it. I'll just make sure we filled out the proper paperwork. And I did that throughout the summer. No dumb dad moment there. I was just like filling out stuff, and just like I had a calendar set up, and I was like, I have to do it 2 months out, that's scary to put me in charge of that. Like I got to think 2 months out. I am like the king of, this is coming up, I should do something. Now it's 3 days away. Yeah. Well, I thought about it 2 months ago. I did nothing about it.
Well, you thought about it.
Thought about it.
Yeah.
I'm a good person.
You ran through
I'm a good person. I thought about it. I'm such a good person.
You ran it down the bottom of the screen.
I believe that's called thoughtful. I think that's what that means. That's what a thoughtful person is.
You know what you're trying to do? You're trying to read 2 books at one time.
I'm trying to read 2 books at one time. And so orientation is the day before school. I filled out all the paperwork. I've got that all done and approved. So that's fine. Yeah. And nobody's like, the principal's reaching out about, I need paperwork. I mean, she's reaching out to everybody. But I know that means me. Like I need like an updated PTA sign up form that has like the correct dates. I fill that out, send it.
Yeah.
Thank you, Kevin. Everyone else is on this thread. I need this. I can do it. I did it before. Fill it out, send it. Like I don't mind. And none of this bothers me because I've done it before. It's like, why would I, especially because like it's 2 days, or it was like 2 or 3 days away. Why would I dump this on somebody else to be like, it's time you guys learn to do it. It's like, no, I'll teach you after the fact. Maybe if somebody wants to do it. But I'm just thinking to myself, and I'm saying to my wife, I'm like, nobody's reached out to me. And she's like, what do you mean? And I was like, for orientation. Like it's a PTA event.
Yeah.
Where we're going to be like selling shirts, encouraging people to sign up. We like the PTA has to give a speech. Mm-hmm. And I know nobody likes to talk. And as you guys can tell by our Instagram account and this podcast, I like to talk. And I think everybody knows that. So they usually make me talk. But I was like, nobody's reached out to me. And my wife's like, oh, well, and she goes, do you want to reach out to them? And I was like, oh my God, no. No. This is fun. This is nice. I hope they're okay. I hope they've got it figured out. I probably should be responsible and reach out, but I'm not going to. And then on the day, one of the school administrators like calls me. I'm already awake, but it was like, because the first thing is at 7:30, the first like PTA orientation event. And she calls me and I answer, I'm like, hello. And she's like, so sorry to bother you so early. I was like, no, you're good. I was like, is this about orientation? She's like, yeah, nobody's here. And I was like, okay. It was like 6:45, 6:50. Yeah. I was like, yeah, I thought that might happen. I'll be right over. And like, I came over and everybody's showing up so nobody forgot about it.
Yeah.
But I walk up and then somebody's like, so we're going to be giving out like coffee and bagels and stuff like all complimentary. And then somebody's like, Kevin, can you run home and get your toaster? Kevin, can you do this? Kevin, that. And I was like, yeah, uh-huh.
As soon as you show you're capable, you're able.
But the thing was, some of these things were like, what were you going to do if I just didn't show up? If I was just like, I have something that day. I come back from vacation that night and kids go to school tomorrow. I know it's bad, but whatever. Like that happens.
Yeah.
But it was just like, I showed up and they were like, Kev. And I was like, that's a wild choice.
Yeah.
To have assumed I am here. And I did speak.
It's so funny. Like the dynamic of the PTA between our two schools is just immense. When like, how many kids at your school? 250, something like that?
Something like that.
250 total grades TK through fifth grade. Our school is like 950 plus kids.
Yeah.
So it's just such a massive difference. And there's so many people on the PTA at our school that the delegation is a lot. But you got to wear a lot of hats when there's only... Because like, how many people like... To be super involved in the PTA, you kind of have to be like probably somebody who doesn't have a job or is like no schedule or completely controls their own schedule. And that's not a lot of parents, obviously.
Well, let me clear.
And so it's like hard to, it's just a lot of stuff falls on the few people that can say, I'm going to dedicate my time,
Let me clear up two things.
Yeah.
The first one is if you you can join the PTA and not volunteer. That is a big misconception that people don't know.
100%. It's just important to be just sign up for the PTA.
Joining the PTA, there's usually some kind of sign-up fee. That money goes towards the PTA. And a lot of people don't join their PTA because they understandably don't have time because of jobs, obligations, whatever.
Yeah.
Responsibilities. But a lot of people will not sign up for the PTA for that reason. Signing up for your PTA. This is just a little PSA for the PTA.
Yeah.
Sign up for your PTA, especially if you're in public school. And by signing up, you're supporting the PTA. And if you can't do anything else, that is enough. So make sure to do that and support your schools. And the other thing is, I think the people who are on the PTA either work nights or, and that is why it's good to have a large PTA like yours. The advantage to that is like, well, I work days. I can help out in the night events. I work nights. I can do the day events.
Yeah.
And that is what's nice. Our PTA is very small. So jokes aside of them not contacting me, I probably should have reached out to them, but it is a little bit of like an oversight because we all are very crucial. We have a very small PTA of members that are active that can participate. It's no judgment of people that can't, but the people that can participate, our pool is very small. So it is funny that it's like, yeah, no, I know you need my toaster.
Yeah. And that's the thing too, is like, you're not wrong. People assume joining the PTA means I am so busy, I can't be that involved in the kid's school. That's not what it means. It means be on the PTA so that when they have a PTA meeting, you can listen. And when they vote on something, you can say yay or nay to it. That's all that means. Yeah. Your little donation, if you can make the minimal donation, goes towards the PTA. PTA is in charge of things like...
But you also don't even know go to the
field trip buses to, doing things around the school, like all that stuff. Like that's why it's so important to just... sign up to be a member of the PTA at your school.
But you also
the numbers help the school.
But you don't need to go to the meetings.
You don't need to go to the meetings. Most of ours are on Zoom, so it's like it's on at 6. Just listen to it.
If you can, do it.
If you can listen.
But I think a lot of people don't sign up because
the numbers just simply help your school. The more people that join the PTA school just simply help your school. So that's our little PTA PSA.
PTA PSA. Yeah, I will say my because my dumb down moment is short and sweet because I posted about it in stories.
Well, okay, let me do this. Let me do mine.
Okay.
We'll go to yours, and we have a user submission that I'll read. Okay, so mine's shorter too. It's just, the hoopla of getting up and excited about school. Kind of a couple in a row. They were not huge deals, but like a couple nights in a row. Night before school starts, we had a very close friend of ours over for dinner, and the reason why we chose that night was because he has a limited schedule, and it was like, well, how about you come over Wednesday night before school starts? But come over at 5. We're going to have to get it's going to have to be getting the kids down to bed. Can't be a late night. And he was like, totally cool. But then if he comes over, we order some dinner. You got to go pick up the dinner. And when we went together to go pick up the dinner, we got lost into this guy, like he knows everything about comic books and all this stuff. And I was like, so I took my son. We saw Fantastic Four and Superman. And we were like talking about it as we're picking up the dinner. We went to this place. We love this place. Salsa and Beer here in LA is like amazing food. And we ordered, we had some tequila at our house. We were like, hey, let's just order like 3 virgin margaritas. Because we had some tequila at our house and was like, hey, why not? We could make margaritas, but we don't have anything to make margaritas. Why don't we order 3 virgin margaritas? So we go to I go to get the food. We get the food. It's like 4 bags of food. We're coming home. We get home. My wife's like, where's the margaritas? I was like, oh my God. Didn't think about it.
Great start.
We definitely ordered them and definitely paid for them, but they didn't give them to us. Mm-hmm. But it was kind of on me where I know that we were handed bags. They didn't shove drinks inside of these bags. You know what I mean? Like
just bags.
So I went home and immediately dropped off the food, and then by myself had to turn around and go back to the restaurant. It was like, oh man, my brain is in too many places at once. So it pushed everything a little bit. They didn't go to bed super late. It was still a pretty regular bedtime, which is fine. Yeah. But it was like, oh God, my brain is in too many places at once. And then the next night, last night, it's like night before, second day of school, our kids are just kind of running around, making each other laugh, and we're doing stuff. And I don't even remember what I was doing, but I went to the bathroom and then went into the room and like checked my phone and was like looking at 3 or 4 things, and then was like, oh, I think I have to send an email or whatever I did. It was like I was gone for like 10 minutes, leading up to like dinner's about to start. And I come into the kitchen and my wife's kind of like, she looks frustrated. I mean, she's not pissed off or anything, but I was like, are you okay? She's like, yeah, that was a lot. And I was like, what happened? And it was like, kids were playing. My son dared my daughter. This is going to sound terrible. This is not what it means. Like, take her pants off. They were playing dress up. And so he was like daring her to like keep the costume on, but like run out into the living room in her underwear to make mom laugh or whatever, like they're joking around. Right. So they do that. She's trying to make dinner. She's like, guys, give me a second. They go back into her room. My son's making my daughter laugh so hard that she pees. But she's like just in underwear. So she like pees all over her floor and her carpet in her room. And like, this is like, so then my wife's in there like Lysoling it and cleaning it up while making dinner. And like, this is all happening while I'm just chilling in the room.
Just having a good old time.
Just having a good old time. And I come out and I'm like, what happened? She's like, well, that was a lot. And I went to go put something in my daughter's room and I was like, why is your carpet wet? And she's just like, oh, you sweet dummy. Well, and then she basically explains everything that happened. And I was like, oh man, I'm sorry. I was like, I didn't even hear any of that chaos. I remembered hearing the kids laugh. So I'm thinking everything's great.
Of course you are.
And it wasn't like, again, this is minimal. It's not like it was absolutely everywhere, but she probably had to go to the bathroom. She made her laugh so hard that it like a little bit happened. She ran to the bathroom. None of it was like that big of a deal. But the fact that like all that happened in like that minimal window when I'm just like hanging out in my bedroom waiting for dinner was like, I felt just
being a dad.
Just being a dad.
Just being a dad.
Being a dumb dad. Like, I was like, oh my God, I'm the TV dad wandering. Like,
what's going on out here? I'm in my study.
When's dinner? Like,
can't hear myself think.
I was like,
what's that cross look for? Burnt again?
Yeah.
And then Evan was never seen again.
It was one of those things like, you can't say like, oh gosh, had I known, I'm so sorry. But it's like, yeah, you were not around. So,
yeah.
But I'm also like 2 doors down from my daughter's room. So what was so funny about it to me that I was like, how did I not know? It wasn't like I put, noise canceling headphones in, was like, I'm not going to be bothered, and shut all the doors and was having me time. I was just like, I knew we had like 15 minutes before dinner. So I was like, went and did something really quick. And all that happened in the time that I was gone.
You weren't reading 2 books. You were trying desperately to read one. And everything
way too
else
much focus.
was
yeah.
Soundproof. Just focusing.
Yeah, I do have that. I do have that ability about me, which is probably part of like undiagnosed ADHD and like anxiety, where my mind, I could focus so much on something. My cousins, when we were kids, and my brother and sister used to say like I had selective hearing because they thought I would just like choose not to listen. But I'll do this with my wife too. I'm sure you do this sometimes. If I'm watching something and she says something to me, like I don't even hear her talking. Mm-hmm. And it's not that I'm zoning her out. I would never do that. It's not that I choose not to listen or that I'm bothered. It's just I'm focusing on something, and I'm focusing on it so much so that like I'm not aware of what's going on right around me at the moment.
Yeah.
It's like that can be great. It's powerful if I can harness it when I play golf and eliminate the distractions. It's not great if I'm focusing on reading a few Instagram posts while there's chaos going in the other room and I'm not paying attention to it.
Yeah. Yeah, you're using your powers poorly. Poorly.
You know what I mean? It was
Yeah.
like, oh man, there's nothing for me to say, and I feel bad. I'm sorry.
My dumb dad moment is back to school. Back to school.
We knew you were going to have them. I mean, it's our schedule flips on its head just as much as theirs does.
Yeah. Yeah. I have a mini one, which was just funny. And it was it this morning or was it last night? It was just funny because today, as of this recording, day 2 of school.
Yeah.
And I'm taking my father-in-law to the doctor's. So I help them get up, get dressed. I make them both breakfast, but I won't see them off at school because I had to leave at like 7:30. And
Right.
to take my father-in-law to the doctor's.
Yeah.
So, we're rushing around doing stuff, and then my daughter just drops that she's like, I want home lunch. And we had already told them, like, it's Friday, pizza day, which I love that schools still do that. That was like one of my favorite things growing up, that Friday was pizza day.
Friday was pizza day.
That was the best, because then Friday's already the end of the week, and we get pizza. This is a great day. Love it. And my daughter was just like, I don't really like pizza. Can you make me home lunch? And you want to get in an argument with her, be like, don't like pizza. But I'm like, I know what kind of pizza you're talking about.
I know. Square.
Yeah.
And they microwaved it.
Yeah.
Some kids are like, it looks like pizza. I don't care. That means it's pizza.
Yeah.
What you're saying is, I don't. It doesn't taste like pizza. It doesn't really look like it. It certainly doesn't taste like it.
The cheese was 3D printed. Does that make sense?
Cheese didn't melt.
Yeah. She was like, I want home lunch. And my wife's like, oh, okay. And then she starts taking out their bags.
Yeah.
And then she just like looks at me. She's just like, didn't empty the lunch boxes.
From the day before?
Yeah. I was like, one day down.
One day in.
One day in.
A little too relaxed.
And that's an understandable mistake because you're like,
Is it?
I think it's because it's like, oh, right. Got to check those. You know what I mean?
It's understandable mistake because it's easy to forget, but it's also like, that's also why when they get home from school, you empty them out and wash them immediately. Because,
Oh, no.
and listen,
We were too excited.
Listen, I'm not, listen, buddy.
We went to
I've
Yogurtland.
made that mistake so many times.
Oh, yeah.
But I'm saying that's why.
Hey, I'm happy she found it on Friday. Had our daughter not said she wanted,
If she had
she
said
had
pizza's
said, I
great
want
with me,
pizza's great.
you would have been buying new lunchboxes before on Sunday evening.
Monday morning, I'm walking into the kitchen, and there's a lunchbox with 4 legs
Yeah, wandering
hissing
around
at me in a
looking for
different
something to
language.
eat.
I'm going to deal with that again.
Was it one of the more expensive cooler lunchboxes?
Yeah.
$3 more.
So coolers are containers. They keep things cool, but you can keep things warm
Oh
too,
my
even though they're
God.
called cooler. The other one, this is the other quick one, was, and I posted about this in stories, is that like, and we've talked about this on this podcast, that we found my daughter's getting ready for 4th grade workbook,
Yeah.
first day of school morning.
That's so funny.
Morning.
Is that karma? Or is that's not karma, that's
It's not karma for really.
no, it's not karma. It's how the world works. You know, it's like
Here's how I'll give myself that. I said in stories it's not a dumb dad moment because it's not. I will say
Well,
the
you
only
didn't-
reason
you
I'll give
didn't lose
myself
it.
a dumb dad moment. What's that?
I said you didn't lose it.
I didn't lose it. Where I will say it was a dumb dad moment, and this is just like, come on, dads or moms, whoever is in this situation, you know your kid, and you should know better.
Uh-huh.
I just kept I looked for it multiple times, like throughout the summer. Like there's maybe once a week I'd go, could we really not find it? And then I'm
hindsight,
wandering around the
Were
house.
you looking for it where a kid would leave it?
That's my point.
Yeah.
I was looking for it I was taking my time going book by book on our bookshelf and then under our coffee table. And then there was like a couple places I will say I did look that I was like, I think maybe she put it here. And I looked it's under this thing, under this, butcher block in the kitchen. Maybe it's under no.
It's your phrasing.
And I keep
Put it. No. Left it.
Well, she did put it somewhere. She put it in her art closet in this area where like papers go.
Uh-huh.
Not workbooks, never coloring books, never.
She put it in a
no
convenient place.
books. Put it in a
Not a
convenient
strategic place.
But I can never fault her for this because to this day, I will put my keys down and walk away, and my brain goes, "That was a bad place to leave that.
You've never left them there before. What? Why now?
Shouldn't do that."
Yeah.
And then it's time to
And
leave.
then you convince yourself. But the fact that I kind of made a point to think that, I'll remember.
It's the
You won't.
It's the closest to Inside Out I've ever come in my life. Is I hear a voice that's not mine.
Yeah.
I hear one of the operators going, "Oh, idiot."
Why?
That doesn't go there.
This guy. It's like this control panel's not plugged in all the way.
And the worst part is you're going to take me offline when it's time to find them.
Yeah.
So that's mine.
That's pretty good. I mean, it's so funny that it's like what can happen will happen. That's maybe what I'm trying to think of. It's also like, you know why you found it the day before, the day of.
It was a school day.
The school day. You know why you found it? Because that's poetry, my guy. That's poetry. That's life is beautiful.
It really was like impossible because it's like.
That's one of those things like, oh, you can't write that because if you did write that, it would feel like that's fake. Forced. Yeah.
It's like we have it in our hand and it should be going in her backpack because she finished it. We are holding it at the appropriate time.
Yeah. But it went on a wild journey and it's like Squeaks in Toy Story, the little penguin that gets set up on the shelf. And he's just like, I was played with once.
Hey there.
And now they're just waiting to get used again. Now his fear is recycling. He thinks it's like, I didn't even get filled out all the way. I'm probably getting recycled.
Yeah. Do you know what's not talked about enough in Toy Story is like the amount of mom guilt. I'm saying that because Andy only has a mom in Toy Story. Obviously, dads have dad guilt. But the amount of mom guilt that just on a regular basis you have. Imagine finding out that like all of his favorite toys were alive and you stranded some of them on top of a shelf.
Oh.
It's like, isn't this woman had enough?
Pixar gets you, man. They figure out how to pull your heartstrings and they yank them.
Where's her husband? Oh, no, don't tell me. You're Pixar. I forgot. It's going to be awful.
Do you have any toys or things that your kids play with that you will never get rid of?
Do my kids have toys?
Yeah. I mean, like, do you have, like, I'll give you two examples. The two are other Toy Story toys. Mm-hmm. That's also because, like, mixed in with nostalgia, like, Toy Story came out when we were, like, in high school, and it just spoke directly to us as little kids, which we just left. Like, high school, or probably from middle school for you.
Yeah.
When Toy Story came out, it's like it's directly reminding you of the life you just left. Now that you have all this responsibility as like this young adult, right? And seeing our kids fall in love with the Toy Story movies and the toys and their stories all over again, it's like, yeah, I probably can't get rid of that stuff. Like the actual toys of all of them, we have them like in like a. I think we just recently put them in a bin, but it was like maybe once in a while revisit them or what, like, but can't get rid of them. And same with all the Bluey stuff. For the most part, like all their little Bluey characters and like maybe the house and like the car and stuff, like probably can't ever get rid of those because it was just at the right time as a parent that our kids fell in love with something like that.
Sure.
And then at the same time, we also like, that was one of the big things that got us through COVID was like making dinner and like watching the new Bluey episode or something like that, which is like, will never leave me as a person, you know? And like, so those two things were like, we can never get rid of that stuff. Other stuff is like fine, you know, like they want to donate a toy or something, you know, like we do a lot of before holidays or especially birthdays leading up to. It's like probably going to get a lot of stuff. Maybe we just go through your room and like if there's stuff you really don't feel like you want anymore, we can donate it to kids. You know, our kids have gotten pretty good at that. But I think those are the two things I think of that are like immediate hard pass. Would like that will go with us wherever we go.
Ours will probably be dinosaur toys.
Yeah.
But I don't think I have.
And Lego, probably not going to get. I'm not going to get rid of any Lego.
Yeah, I'll have Lego.
But Lego's fun to play.
Well, I was just thinking like the dinos are for my son.
Yeah.
I probably don't have anything for my daughter, but that is because I think she's been interested in drawing for so long. And whether she continues to pursue that or not, like keeping her pictures, her progress of her pictures, which that's not the question you ask because everybody keeps pictures of their kids draw. But I would say that's like her toy that she's nostalgic about. Unless there's something else, I guess I'm just not thinking of. But no, she was never a big like toy kid that played with toys. My son, dinosaurs. That'll be.
Yeah. I mean, my son.
I don't know that we'll get rid of any of them. Like
he's just 10 now and he's like kind of doesn't play with toys that much anymore.
I remember in high school, I one time took out my toys because they were like in a bin.
Yeah.
And so dramatic. But it's true, and it happened. And it happened to me, so it's important. But I remember...
Likes to talk.
But I remember I took out, like, my toys. Very Toy Story-esque. And it wasn't because of Toy Story that I did this. But I was like, very end of Toy Story 3, I was like, I'm gonna play with them again. I haven't played with toys in, like, a year. Probably longer.
Yeah.
And I was like, I'll play with toys again. I loved playing with toys. Mm-hmm. because I would like to. I know a bunch of other kids did this, but I wouldn't just like smash them into each other. I would like have scenes. I would do movies. I would have like a scene where the bad guy talks to the general, and then he sends out the guy, and then there's a scene where they're at the park, and then
Andy,
like,
everyone has a role and everything. Yeah.
So I would do that a lot. I remember one time in high school, specifically, I took out the toys to play with him, and I was like, it's just not there.
But seeing like. That's the thing.
I was like a little heartbroken though. I was like a little heartbroken. Then I was like, I couldn't. I can't enjoy this anymore.
Yeah,
that's a bummer. I was genuinely like, I'm gonna try this.
Oh man, life moves on.
If I'm somebody who plays toys when he's an adult, whatever. And good for you if you still do, but I couldn't find it.
See, I mean, I appreciate that. It's funny, like. Thinking about that. I mean, but I also, there's like, I think toys that got kept, and then that feeling of nostalgia. It's like, you can't get that if you don't have the ability to,
Yeah.
I still have like the blanket that I had when I was a little kid and just some stuff like that, it's just like nice to hang on to. And it's fun to like share that stuff with your kids. I liked this one. I was like, it's so funny. Like even just my son does like the mimicking of like blowing on a Nintendo game. And it's like, you have no idea, man.
Up and down, up and down, up and down. And I don't even know what that did.
I don't know. Nothing. I don't know.
Pushing it down, then pushing it back up like a toaster. I don't understand.
Yeah, and the carefully sliding in. It's like the reader is done.
It's either going to work or it's not.
Passing it over.
Passing it on. That is a good place to leave it.
Yeah.
For this week, we're going to read a dumb parent submission on next week's podcast. So if you have one and you want it read on the podcast, write in dumbdadpod@gmail.com, or you can DM us. We're at the Dumb Dads on Instagram and on all platforms. Subscribe to our Substack and our YouTube channel where you can watch full episodes of this very podcast. Reminder again about our show on August 25th at Dynasty Typewriter. All funds will go towards Donors Choose.
Right.
It's our 1-hour sketch comedy variety show with an appearance by our friend and stand-up comic Sarah Tiana. So
brilliant. Love Sarah.
Please come on out and support that show.
Mm-hmm.
Thanks to Verdú on SoundCloud for the music of this podcast. And as always, to my lovely wife, Annie, for editing. Evan, you got a joke to take us out?
I got a joke for you. It's one of these, dad jokes too. One of these books here, but this is maybe a little bit of a longer one. So we'll see how this one goes. Okay. So what do you think of this joke? A father and son are playing golf together. Mm-hmm. The young man hits his tee shot and it lands about 20 yards in front of a large pine tree blocking the green.
Okay.
He asks for advice from his father. He says, son, says his dad, when I was your age, I'd hit the ball right over that tree. That'd be my route. So the young man digs in, swings as hard as he can, smacks the ball right into the tree. It ricochets back and lands right in front of the two golfers, sorry.
Best case scenario.
Dad says, of course, when I was your age, that tree was only about 10 feet tall.
That's fun.
It's not bad.
It's a great setup from a dad. Could have gotten both killed.
I mean, obviously the dad probably had money against his son, to talk him into that.
The bad father.
Yeah,
okay.
Bad father.
Okay, bye. Welcome to the world, little one. Welcome to life.
How do I stop this?